So today I'm doing something different because I actually watched two movies, and this is going to be really strange. And again, this is a knee-jerk movie review. Um, this isn't immediately after the movie, but a little bit later. But I review movies as soon as I can after I watch them, so I don't have time to process. I just think, okay, this is my knee-jerk reaction. But I watched a very strange movie, and if you've seen the title of this video, you already know what it is. I'm not a Woody Woodpecker fan. I've never been a fan of Woody Woodpecker. Hanna-Barbera in general, not too particular of a fan. You know, they have like a whole cartoon universe. But when I was growing up, that cartoon universe was very poorly animated. I don't think even kids liked it. You know, the only one I kind of liked was Yogi Bear. I do own a DVD of the Yogi Bear movie. But the Yogi Bear cartoon movie was far superior. So, but anyway, Woody Woodpecker. Now, Woody Woodpecker was, you know, like a cartoon filler. Didn't really have its own. I don't know if Woody Woodpecker ever actually had his own show. I think he was always part of a conglomerate of shows. And so when I saw this, I just thought I was like just needing something to be on while I was laying in bed. And I put it on, and this movie, I know it's silly, but it surprised me. It surprised me with how real it was. And you're going to think, oh, how can a movie about a talking cartoon woodpecker be real? Well, it was. It was like, you know, there was, and the guy you think was bad guy, you know, he was an oil tycoon, but right in the very first scene, he gets fired from his job. And you're like, okay, well, how is this going to play into it? Well, then he goes out. He's in this pristine mountain setting. He's a lake and everything, but he owns all this acreage. And his plan is to build this big, gaudy mansion. I can't remember if it was orange or purple, but this big, gaudy, artsy mansion on the shore of this lake. And he was going to build this and then flip it and make millions of dollars, because he knew millionaires that wanted to live on a lake in a big artsy house. So naturally, this is the habitat of Woody Woodpecker. And early on, there's poachers, and you know, they show Woody dealing with the poachers in Woody fashion, very cartoon fashion, a lot of you know, just like Woody Woodpecker, using his beak, carving down trees really quick, carving his name in the trees. Just very, very cartoonish. And of course, you have to suspend belief in a movie like this, because they were just like, talking woodpecker, we're going to get you. Literally, that's the feeling you get. You know, if I was in the woods and I found a talking woodpecker, I would be floored. And they're just like, so you're the woodpecker that's been hanging around here, you know, and they just accept the fact that it's a talking woodpecker. But suspending that part of it, you know, there's a lot of things you expect. So here he is. This guy is clear-cutting the forest to make his mansion. And here comes Woody Woodpecker going, oh my God, you're cutting down my trees. And you think, okay, by the time this movie's over, this guy is going to be, you know, on fire, running out of the forest. And it didn't turn out that way. It's hard to explain. It's like, first of all, the forest ranger comes in and says, yeah, hey, I'm checking up on you. You're cutting down all these trees. And he's like, well, this is my land, and I have a permit to build a house. And she's like, okay, everything's good. And you're like, whoa, you don't expect that in a movie. You expected him to be bending some rule or breaking some rules that they could bust him on. But everything was in order. He had a permit. He had the land. You know, he wasn't breaking any laws. He was going to build his house. And later on, you know, when they actually go into town and stuff, they're like, no one in town wants to see this big gaudy house on the side of the lake. So yeah, they were all against it, but they all accepted the fact that it was his land to do what he wanted with it. And that was it made the movie so real, and I can't explain it. And so instead of Woody stopping him, he just kept making his bill get bigger and bigger. So he was losing his profit. You know, if a wall went up, the next day it would fall over, because Woody would, you know, chew all the wood up. And so, boom, another chunk of the bill, because I got to put the wall back up. So at one point, and this is the turning point, that this is the only part of the movie I didn't like. There was a scene where Woody did something that was totally mean, very dangerous, and could have killed somebody. And they just played it off. But they didn't. The movie played it off. The characters were like, oh my God, you could have killed somebody. And again, that was real. You know, if someone plays a practical joke and it almost kills somebody, you're going to have animosity towards that person. And of course, this is when this guy is there with his young, beautiful fiance and his estranged son. And of course, the son makes friends with Woody. And it's the fiance that gets in this dangerous situation, and Woody's just laughing about it. And, you know, that's like the last straw. She's out of there. And he's really frustrated, and that's when he hires these poachers to get rid of him. But that's also when the forest ranger comes back in and says, you know, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And the guy's like, huh, I can make friends with Woody, finish my house, and then flip it, and then I don't care, I'm out of here. Woody can do whatever he wants after I get my money for the house. And so he makes friends with Woody. And Woody is like never had a family before. And he's starting to enjoy this. And so they're friends, and the house actually gets built. And it's actually finished. And of course, Woody carves his, you know, he wants to carve the family into the side of this garage. And when he does that, he accidentally hits a power line, and, you know, the house burns to the ground. And of course, the guy's like, you were going to do this all along. And, you know, it's that trope of not explaining yourself. And he's just like, but I didn't mean it. And he didn't explain that he accidentally hit a power cord. And then, of course, bad things happen. And the son gets in danger, and they all get kidnapped together. And, you know, because he hired these poachers to get rid of Woody. And then when they do get Woody, they try to rescue him. But then the sheriff comes in and saves everybody, which, I mean, didn't save anybody, but showed up and arrested the poacher. And you're like, okay, that again was very real. That's what would happen. You know, if you were kidnapped by poachers and the sheriff got word of it, the sheriff would show up with, you know, there was like 20 police cars and arrest the poachers. And you're like, wow, that's kind of real. And again, when the movie finished, I thought that is the most real cartoon movie I've ever seen. And so I would recommend this movie. I don't even know if kids would like it. If you're an old timer like me and have seen Woody Woodpecker cartoons, you might enjoy it. I wasn't a fan of Woody Woodpecker cartoons, but the movie, I don't know if I'd like ever watch it again or anything, but I kind of enjoyed the movie, and it just reeked of realness, you know, other than not being amazed at a talking woodpecker. It's how people would react to each other when things happen. You know, nothing in the movie happened that, you know, that was going to happen in a cartoon. Like I said, in the beginning I thought at some point this guy's going to run out of the movie on fire with Woody laughing and saying, I won, and the house would never get built, and the pristine lake would stay a pristine lake. But that's not what happened. House got built. Of course, it got burned to the ground, but, you know, people complained about it, but they were like, it's his land, he can do what he wants with it. Everybody except Woody. And it played out like that. I can't explain it, but it had an air of realness about it. So I would recommend this movie to watch it at least once. Watch it while you do your dishes or doing your taxes or whatever. Your kids might like it. Woody is kind of mean in points. I don't know if you want your kids to have him as a role model. Good eye candy. All the people were very gorgeous in this movie. I give it 3/4 of a thumbs up. Like I was just rating my last movie was halfway, so this is a little more than halfway. Maybe 60-70% out of 100. You know, 7 woodpeckers up out of 10. I don't want to sound like Braziers here, but anyway, it's on. I think it was on Netflix or Hulu, one of those, but it was streaming for your customers. Not a bad movie. Go ahead and watch it if you got 2 hours to kill. You might be pleasantly surprised, and at least you could tell your friends, hey, I wasn't horrified at this Woody Woodpecker movie. wasn't half bad. People reacted real to the situations. Maybe not real to a talking woodpecker, but real as far as this is what I would do if I was covered in cement. You know, anyway, I enjoyed it, and that's how I rate my movies. Even if it's the stupidest, craziest thing, and it makes no sense whatsoever, if at the end I am entertained, then the movie did what it set out to do. Because movies are supposed to entertain us. So I was entertained by this movie. If they could have done the scene differently, where he almost blows the woman up. Because that just, in the lighthearted fun of all this movie, that was like this really dark, black, horrible thing that happened. So watch the movie, enjoy it. Maybe not make it a destination movie, but have something to put on while you're doing the dishes or something. I give it 3/4 of a woodpecker, and again, I'm going to give a plug to my books. Several books on Amazon. One contains a treasure. Something I did a long time ago, and I made a book with clues on how to find the treasure. My name is Starthinker, and this was a knee-jerk reaction video, Woody Woodpecker on Netflix. Thank you. And now